Right there. Yes! Let's go! Yeah! What? What? Oh my god, it's live! It's Friday! It's the game show! You know, I usually say this, we got a hell of a show, but tonight I mean it. All the other shows, I was bullshitting you. But tonight, I am serious. We've got a great show for you tonight. What's up? I'm Jim. I'm hanging out with the Justies. We're all going to be talking a little bit. Our game of the week tonight is Monkey Island, The Secret of Monkey Island, special edition for the old folks like me and Gweeds.
We're old now?
We are, dude, we're old. But someone who's not old and who, well, I don't want to give it away. Well, you can guess how Nicole felt about the game, but there she is. It's Nicole.
Hello. Thank you for joining us. I will, of course, be in the stick-em chat with, you know, my stickers. And I see you lurkers. Come in the chat room. And I will, of course, have a top 7 list for you.
And, of course, as always, the lovely Gweeds.
I'm back. I feel like I'm always back. I can't like quite make an episode in 2 episodes consecutively.
You are so popular.
I know. Well, I'm bringing another What's in Your Box because we just can't get enough of that, and I have to introduce our guest, which everyone is here to see tonight. On-air host for IGN, Maxim contributor. You know her. Everybody loves her except for the people asking for Olivia Munn. Yeah. Jessica Chobot.
Yeah!
Thanks for coming out. I saw you pull up in your moped.
Thank you. Yes. Well, yes,
Your
my Vespa.
Vespa.
I do not own a car. I risk my life in LA every single day, and yeah, I almost got killed today, actually.
That's hardcore. We need more girls on Vespas, especially in this city.
Riding around, I actually saw somebody with the literally exact copy of Fooly Cooley, the Vespa from Fooly Cooley, and I was just like, oh my god! And then I started crying because I desperately wanted it.
Which probably isn't the best thing to do while you're driving a Vespa. Crying.
I was starting to cry. I can't see the road.
Oh god, I want that one so bad. Smash.
It's not good to drink and drive. Don't do it, kids.
PSA. The more you know.
Exactly.
But mixing it with Evo is great, and we should
wholeheartedly endorse that.
Totally.
So 2 weeks ago, we reviewed Call of Juarez Bound. I just like saying Juarez.
You do
Bound
it
into
well.
Blood.
You do it well.
Thank you. I live close to the border. So, you know, I pick up other cultures very easily.
You mean the border of West Hollywood?
Yeah, exactly.
No, he was talking about Taco Bell.
Oh, yeah. Sometimes when I gotta make a run for the border, it just helps to be able to speak the language. So we asked you guys to post cowboy pictures, and a few of you did. Oh, yeah. Oh, wow.
There's Alex.
There's Alex.
There's a pawn and link in the back.
Anastasia, we have anime characters watching the show.
Do.
Where's WestJet? Good. Love it.
Oh, yeah, where's... Oh, there's me. That's me for real.
Yeah.
That's totally me for real.
Dude, words don't lie. So we're going to talk to you a little bit of combo. We're going to go over some news, some stuff you may have missed this past week in the news in the world of video games.
All right. An 18-year-old from Indiana is under investigation by the FBI for making very serious threats in World of Warcraft.
So this guy, he threatened to board a plane at 7:30 to Chicago, and that he was going to try to kill as many Americans as possible.
Several similarly questionable posts were made, and Blizzard decided to investigate.
First, the boy claimed that his account was hacked, and then he decided to admit that it was a joke, claiming he didn't really think that anyone would care, and the cops would not come to his house.
UFC President Dana White said EA turned him down to do a mixed martial arts game a 1.5 years ago, telling him that MMA wasn't a real sport.
UFC instead partnered with THQ and released UFC 2009 this past May, which was a big success, made him a lot of monies.
After seeing that, EA wants to get in on the action now, so now they want their own MMA game, I think just titled MMA.
White says, I am at war with EA right now. That guy is huge, too. I wouldn't want him to be at war with me. And any fighters who lend their likeness to EA's title can consider themselves banned from the UFC.
All right, according to GamePolitics.com, a $100,000 grant has been rewarded to a Norfolk University professor to make a Underground Railroad video game.
Now, for those unfamiliar with the Underground Railroad, it was a secret network to help slaves before the Civil War. I've been told to tell you that.
Yeah, neither underground nor a railroad. Discuss. The co-writer of the game, Professor Cassandra Newby Alexander, says ultimately newbie, N-O-O, yeah. Ultimately, human beings are going to be free. When you ask people to describe the Underground Railroad, they think of Harriet Tubman on foot with a gun. Most slaves didn't escape that way. I don't want to dumb down the game. End quote.
Intense. The game will most likely be for the PC and be released in 2011 and probably won't be a first-person shooter. Sorry.
The Duke never dies. We got new screenshots from Duke Nukem Forever this week. Yes.
Yeah.
These images, there he is. Yeah, they popped up on Duke's Facebook. And then it was also announced that Gearbox is making they're making Duke Begins. I guess that's like the Batman Begins. They're doing an origin for there. So shake it, baby. Want to dance? 2009 release schedule just got a little bit smaller. We heard that the BioShock 2 and Heavy Rain have both been pushed to 2010.
Take-Two gave the vague response that there are some development issues with BioShock 2.
Heavy Rain will join God of War 3 and MAG as early 2010 exclusives for the PS3.
Now, Quantic Dream CEO Guillaume de Fundame French something or other offers this comment. Yeah, exactly. That's all he said.
that was his comment.
Most publishers today realize it's not the ideal time to release a new IP or new genre just before Christmas. It's a very crowded place to be, and certain games need to be, they need space to live their life. Everybody working on the project, both at Quantic and Sony, believe this is the right time.
You know, the BioShock 2 stuff is a little disappointing because I really enjoyed BioShock, but you know, I'd rather, with things like, you know, everybody complains Blizzard takes forever to develop their games, yada, 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 all this pushback. I'd much rather have like a complete, legit, nice packaged game that is like a good experience versus something that somebody rushes and then they try to fix through DLC and things like that.
Ghostbusters.
Oh, you okay there?
That's something in my something in my throat.
Do you think
who are you gonna call?
Yeah. Do you think they're just like announcing games too early and like this is like part of the problem? This just like goes on now. It's like people were waiting for it.
You know, probably a little bit of both. You know, I'm sure they had a legitimate goal in mind to get it out when it was originally announced to be released. But, you know, also part of that's a mix of PR, marketing, things of that nature. You know, now being in the industry outside of it versus outside of it like I was before and just a consumer, I'm coming to realize that there is a lot of red tape and a lot of corporate being involved in the mix. So, you know, what the developers and publishers might have in mind might be completely separate from sales, marketing, and PR, and never the two shall meet.
I guess that's what they were kind of saying with Heavy Rain, was basically like, it's not the time to like put this thing out that's a little bit risky. Let's put that out with God of War 3 and MAG when the PS3 surge happens in 2010, because that's what they're kind of, I guess, pushing for.
I remember 2 years ago, I was just eyeballs deep right around Christmas time and everything with these like AAA titles, and you couldn't even get through the pile. And you know, then right afterwards, like, you know, yeah, it's always like this. It's always like this, and right now we might be on one of those downturns, and by 2010, we're in the valley.
We've got a Halo game coming out. We've got big games.
And honestly, you know what? I want to stay in the valley a little longer because I have a lot of games that I have not been able to finish or even start.
Right.
That because when they were all shoved on me like 2 years ago, and I really want to play them, I just don't have the time. You know, my commute, my life. And the time that I have available to play games now really blows. So I just want to stay in the valley. It's safe.
Other guy is curious, what do you think lies in the future for video games journalism? Will it be blogs like Kotaku and Destructoid, or is it going to be more like the IGN or 1UP model?
I would say, well, there's so many different variables to that. I would say, I actually think that it's going to be more video stuff, and I'm not saying that because I'm on your show. I mean, I love your show and all, but but honestly, I really do. I mean, I find that as more and more people are finding themselves interested in video games, as it's being made more accessible, as it's not so scary for the casual consumer, and the casual gamer is not necessarily a bad word, that as
they just don't want to read anymore.
They want to play. They don't want to read 8 pages of some, you know, editorial staff members, blue belly, limp, pensive thought process.
And it's cool when you go on IGN, you look at them dissect the trailer and zoom in and show you all that stuff. That type of annotation is great.
Exactly. There's always something more to the visual aspect and being able to say, there's one thing to read it on a page and follow the directions. It's another to see the experience happening so that when you come upon that problem, you're like, oh yeah, I remember this, and I can do this, 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 and this. And it's actually, in my viewpoint, a little bit more interactive that way with the audience.
Well, here's something that question sort of reminded me of, because I mean, the future of games journalism, and even journalism in quotes with games, has always been kind of like loosely attributed to various levels, and some people don't think it's handled the same way or with the same ethics or whatever. Forgetting all of that, like whatever makeup it is, I mean, I was listening to Robert Ashley's podcast, A Life Well Wasted. I don't know if you've heard this or not, but they did the whole thing on the death of EGM, and they interviewed a lot of guys, and they were just talking about 10 years ago, 15 years ago, you'd get a magazine, you'd pour through it, and everything was positive. It was just like screenshots of stuff that you might not get for 2 years. And you would talk to your friends, and you would just be like, isn't this so cool? And you would just pour over it. Yeah. And now everything just immediately turns to hate and rage. And like, you can't just be excited and be happy for stuff. You just got to find the thing wrong with it.
I think that that's a very valid point. I do find that that is a combination of fanboy mentality, and I don't want to necessarily call, video game media fanboys, because there might, for every one bad media person, there's a gazillion that really like what they do. It's just that I also blame the ridiculous influx and high turnover rate of titles, games, the fact that we're on like 4th or 5th editions of the same title, and I just think eventually you just get burnt out, because no matter what job you do, that job becomes a job. 2, if there's nothing new being offered and you just kind of keep recycling the same old stuff, you're gonna get bitter. I mean, people join this business because they're passionate for it and they love it, and this is their hobby and their love and what they want to do. And then when they feel that they're being disappointed by what's being, produced and developed, they take it personally. And I can't imagine that, the industry, people that work in the industry don't feel the same way that people that are just buying the titles feel.
What was the game that really got you addicted to video games?
This is like a little personal story. I got really into video games because, I'm not crying, because my...
Keep it together, keep it together.
Oh, that would have been hot.
Because my father would travel a lot, and so because of he was a salesman, and he'd be gone all the time, and so he'd be gone for like 2 weeks out of every month, and it was just ridiculous. And so when he would come home, he would play video games with us being my brothers and sisters and myself. And so, that was a really big deal, because not only could you hang with Dad, but you were hanging with Dad with something that was a kid-oriented, like, thing. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, I would always be so stoked when my parents would sit and watch cartoons with us, because it was like, oh, they think that my childish fun stuff is important, and they're having fun with it the same way that I'm having fun with it. And then I just got into it that way because I just was like really happy to hang out with my dad. And then eventually, I just kind of got the bug and started playing, and yeah, I always had to, the thing though is that they were always my brother's systems. They were never mine. I would ask for them for Christmas, and my mom would say, your brother and you can share it, but it's going to stay in his room because it's his system.
Wow.
So what I would do is I would challenge him to something like Street Fighter, lock him in a corner, and he had this really big problem with anger. We all do, but he had a really bad one. And he would start freaking out and would throw the controller, and then would get grounded, and then I would get the system all to myself.
That sounds like Nicole's house. Yeah. That totally sounds like Nicole's house.
Except I decided to buy the Xbox so I can ground him from it and then bribe him with it. And my parents actually say to me, like, Nicole, Zach's doing this. You should ground him from the Xbox. It's come to that point. Yeah, it was an investment on so many levels. My first system that I personally ever legitimately bought and owned that was my system was the PlayStation.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nicole, what's going on with the stickers? Are they screaming about their systems?
Lots of Jessica love. Daniel Foofan wants to know if Jessica ever sees herself developing games, or you just want to stay on the media side. Would you ever want to get involved creatively?
Funny that question should come up. I actually just got back from a pitching meeting where I pitched a game I'm trying to develop with the company.
That's all that the non-disclosure will let you say. That's awesome.
Yeah, but yeah, I definitely. I mean, when I was over there, and I've actually been, I don't want to say headhunted, but essentially headhunted by this company previously to move from media into development and also just like behind the scenes in general. And it was a really tough choice to stick with media because media on-camera stuff, for me at least, is only going to take me so far. Plus, I feel like I've accomplished a lot of the goals that I had set out for myself, and so where do you go now? I don't want to leave video games because I love it. So what's the next best thing? Development.
Anything you've played that hasn't come out yet that maybe you've had some more time on than anyone out there?
You'd be surprised. I don't ever get that. That does not happen to me. I do not get free games. I do not. I mean, let me put it this way. There's certain companies that have been very nice to me, but overall, because we have an editorial staff and they're the ones doing the reviews and they have the debug units, they're the ones that get to play the stuff more hands-on. The one exception was today when I was, oh, well, this is going to give it away, so screw this. Okay, so when I was at Konami.
Yeah, Konami.
Oh, man. So when I was over at Konami trying to get them to get on board with a couple things, I also, the reason I was there was to test out and play Silent Hill for the Wii. Because I'm a huge Silent Hill fan.
So wait, you're making DDR just Chobot Edition? Is that what's coming out?
She announced it here.
I'll give you a hint. The title that I'm pushing is called Rappadappadoopa.
That's code name? That's not a code name.
Now that sounds perfect for something that might appear in our next segment, which I believe we have the video all queued up. Brian, let's roll a little What's in Your Box?
Oh, my favorite. Never happened. Kevin Shane says I'm smoking hot in this bit.
Damn right you are.
Even without your cowboy hat.
I am smoking hot in that video.
Was that Santa Monica Beach?
Yeah.
Yeah, sure was.
Sad when you can recognize the houses in the background.
Look at that. We got hot in here. You took your thingy.
Yeah.
If I may,
We're
I
on
feel
fire.
like guys is about to get a little hotter.
Oh, is it?
Squeeds.
What's in your box, Jim? I want to know.
I don't have a box today.
You don't have a box?
Oh, wait, yeah, I do.
What are you talking about?
I didn't have a
Give it up,
box.
bitch. Give
I
it
do
up.
have a
Give it
bag.
up.
Oh, I got a little Dewey's Adventure in my box. My box is wet and dewy. That's all. Yeah, it's
Really?
Oh yeah, it's a slip and slide in my box. Apparently, you gotta save the peaceful tree of 7 colors if you want to get into this box. Why? Because I'm curious, what's in your box?
Oh, in my box, pipe mania. We are laying some serious pipe in my box. And in fact, it's going to get even worse because it runs in the family.
Oh!
Wow.
Yowza!
Little side story.
I think you win.
Yeah. I bought this game for $10 at Best Buy. I have kept it wrapped. I hope I can return it. On the receipt, it said Easter Dump Bin. It didn't even rank as a name. It was just Easter Dump Bin.
Now,
It's July, right?
Nicole, I assume that there's something pretty sweet in your box.
There is something pretty sweet in my box. This week we've got Sprung. It is in my box. It's a game where everyone scores. Yes, everyone scores. Got friends, get benefits because you can work all the angles, flaunt your assets, and play it cool.
I always play it cool in your box,
Yeah,
Nicole.
that's what I appreciate.
Jess, now I'm just probably fielding this from the internets, but they're really curious about what's in your box.
So I actually can fit 2 in my box. That's the way I roll. So I brought
box.
sneaking.
Surprise! I like it.
Because
Look at those
the
feel
objective
hands.
is surprise. I'm like, and I want to feed people tasty sandwiches with flourish, and I've actually achieved that in this game. And then also just because it's cute, I did buy the girly game and got cats.
Put cats in your box.
Aw, cats in your box.
Wait, hey now.
Cats in her box, that's just wrong, says the DCD. Hey Jess, what questions are you sick of people asking you? Is it all like PSP stuff, PSP licking stuff? What is it? Is it just like dumb gamer girl questions?
You know, I actually don't get that many dumb gamer girl questions. I think by now, after like 3 to 4 years, it's pretty much writings on the wall that that's not the thing to ask me. I do get a lot of PSP like lick pick questions, which is annoying just because, okay, it's been a while, but at the same time I understand it.
It's like your first hit single kind of thing.
Yeah, you know, I mean, you're never gonna it's never gonna go away. I accept the fact, and I'm proud of the picture still. I mean, it's a hot photo. I guess the most annoying thing that I have to deal with, and like the kind of questions that I'm always having to prove myself about, are when people in the industry that should know better, that have worked with me and whatnot, still are convinced beyond a shadow of the doubt that I do not play video games. Like, they just assume, and then so I always get asked, like, what are you playing, and blah, 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 blah. And I love to talk games. I could talk it all day long, but for the love of fuck, people. Ask me that stupid shit. Like, where have you been? Under a rock? God damn it.
But how do you really feel?
Oh, this is a great question.
I find it just a little bit irritating. Just a slight bit.
I think Jay Sanchez has really hit it on the head, though. He really just got to the bottom of it. How did the PSP taste?
Like love.
Yeah.
At the time. Now that after we found out it had no games, it tastes like shit.
Left a nasty aftertaste. We're talking Game of the Week, a little Monkey Island. But first, to correspond with Monkey Island, Nicole has a top 7. The top 7 monkeys in video games.
7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
So, 7. I from Super Monkey Ball. I think it's I. All right. So the main character and hero of Super Monkey Ball is I. His mission is to save the Jungle Island, and his wife Mimi. Love the names. And when he's not saving the world, he's rolling around, chilling with his baby, likes the bananas. He's been in over 12 games. That's a lot of games.
I think all he does is roll around.
That's
I don't think he actually saves anything.
Clearly, you haven't been dedicating enough time to Super Monkey Ball. All that rolling around pays off somehow.
His ears make me hungry. They look like Cinnabons.
Yes.
I always look at them like, oh, I would love a Cinnabon right now.
Is it Cinnabonish?
Totally.
Yeah. I had my doubts.
Something.
Yeah, right?
All right. 6, Amigo from Samba de Amigo. All right.
That's an awesome game.
Yes, Amigo is so much more than your average Maraca-wielding monkey. So much more than that. He's got a hat and 2 piercings. 2. That's a badass. All right, so he has over 10 games. So he's also hard at work.
10 games?
Likes Latin music. Likes it. And the J-pop.
There's been like one issue with that game, like the Wii and the Dreamcast.
Oh no, they just keep hashing something out.
Oh, he's in like Sega Soccer.
Oh yeah, Sega Tennis All-Stars and oh yeah. I didn't say they were creative games or good. There was no like adjectives.
Numerous.
Dude, we're gonna have to have a Samba de Amigo night because I don't think you appreciate the monkey enough. Jess is in.
I wanna play. Can we play with the Dreamcast?
Yeah.
Yes, Dreamcast night. It is number 5.
Yeah.
All right, it is George from Rampage. He is a King Kongish, if you will, character. He is a veteran.
And no, I tried to find photos from the
Really?
original.
You're gonna insult? Google Images, man.
Yeah.
Don't argue with that.
That's the crappy Rampage. I don't want to hear anything more. I want to see the old arcade one or nothing.
His hobbies include, all right, destroying bridges and cabs and buildings and killing people.
And eating people.
Yeah, well, he eats, well, I don't know if they die.
They die.
Maybe, no.
They are
What
converted
order?
into energy.
What order?
poop.
Maybe he swallows them whole and they have a few minutes to die while they're
They
like
can burn in esophageal. Esophageal?
I think it's like the Sarlacc where they rot in there for like 1,000 years.
For Wiki from Zach. Wiki is not only adorable, he's also magical. He is a friend and sidekick to Zach, and then they're the newest members of a gang of pirates called the the Sea Rabbits, which
That's
are, I know,
adorable.
intimidating. And he can turn into a bell. 3. Pokemon monkeys. There are approximately 9,000 Pokemon. Approximately. I'm rounding up. Only 7 of them are monkeys. Let's see, from the first gen, we've got Mankey that evolves into Primeape, and then from the next gen, which is Silver and Gold, we have Apom that evolves into Animinapom, and then from Diamond and Pearl, we have Chimchar that, you can catch him, I'll keep talking, and then we've got Monferno and Infrarape, and those are our monkeys from Pokemon. 2, Agent 9 from the Spyro series. Agent 9 is a space monkey from space. He has a beginnings of he was a simple lab monkey, and a professor decided to give him a laser gun and teach him to fight, which is what more professors testing animals should do. Give them guns and train them. Advice. So, playable character in one of the Spyros, but he's really cool and he has an accent. So,
nice.
Monkeys with accents.
Dudes, can you guess number 1?
All right.
I'm sure it's real difficult.
Yeah. Oh my God, no one's getting it. I'm lying.
Yeah.
You all have it. All right, number 1, the Kongs.
The Kong family.
They're the most
Couldn't you
famous.
pick one?
No, because why should I have to? They all have thumbs.
They're like the Sopranos of apes.
No, you know what? That's a perfect analogy.
Why were the Kongs number 1?
Well, they're kind of people-ish.
Okay.
But unfortunately, the Kong started with Donkey Kong, who made his debut in 1981 in the arcade game of the same name, Donkey Kong. And we have a whole bunch of Donkey Kongs. We've got Diddy, Dixie, Tiny Kitty, Chunky, and Lanky. There's more, but those are the faves.
Who would name their child Chunky?
Hippies. Dirty, dirty hippies.
Game of the Week,
Yeah.
Secret of Monkey Island, Special Edition, Xbox Live. So excited the old people in the room would cheer if they could get up from their full depends.
Roll some video of this. Let's get us in.
Roll it, more.
So, how did
for
this
Monkey
game
Island.
age? Did it age well?
Well, not if you're Nicole Zawalich.
Which I am, so no. Well, I mean, I don't know how it aged because I was 3 when it came out.
Well, how do you like it now?
I don't. I don't like it now.
How come?
Because I spent like 4 hours looking for meat, and then I had to find flowers, and then I had to get rid of the meat, and then come back to the meat and put flowers on the meat, and like, I have better things to do.
Game, you have to spend 4 hours looking for meat?
Yeah, I should not have to spend that much time. What? No, I agree.
Just asking.
I agree.
DCD is really obsessed with our fascination with meat. That's one of the first puzzles in the game.
Feed the piranha poodles, which I liked because Molly's a poodle.
They added some hints to the game and like a hint system. They sort of
like
simplified
that.
the buttons.
Hell yeah, I like
helped
that.
you. I mean, it was only $10. So is that
Says you with a job.
That's a good point, actually.
I want them to release so many more of these classic games redone in HD. Please, please, Sierra, just go there.
Jess doesn't care. She never really played this game. She doesn't have any interest in it, even if, you know, and Nicole doesn't care either. It's just like, is this just like a reprinted classic that's been done really well?
Yes, but is that, I mean, I think that's reason enough to make more of these. On pure nostalgia alone, I would buy it. I did buy it. I was very happy to buy it.
If they reduced the price, even just by half, $5, I would say bust out with a whole section of XBL games dedicated to nostalgia alone.
It's Pac-Mobilia!
In this package is a piece of Pac-Man memorabilia. Sometimes it's old, sometimes it's new. I'm not going to tell you what it is this week, but I do have some clues. This is commonly used by petty thieves, or chavs in the UK. You may own a lot of these, but most people favor one. This was given to me as a birthday gift from Jim. That's not a clue, I just want to tell you that. I mostly use this at night.
Uh-oh.
Alex Mercer, Little Mac, and Left 4 Dead Zoe, they all have one of these. Canadians might call it a bunny hug. And I like to give you guys anagrams. An anagram for this item, piece of Pac-Man memorabilia, is epic manhood. B-Bear7, Spiffster, Tumor20, Alex 194, and Ramnot have all successfully guessed a Pac-Man hoodie.
Yeah!
This is new. This is new from Jim. I'd put it on, but then I'd really sweat.
Thank you so much, Jess, for coming by.
Yes!
We want you to
guys.
come back, play some drunken video gaming with
Definitely.
us. Bring your Dreamcast. It'll be
will.
awesome.
I will.
Guys, make sure you go to the Stream.tv's Twitter, download us on iTunes. We'll have the edited version of Jess up, I believe, tomorrow. I am Jim.
I'm Nicole. I'm big.
I'm Gweeds. Thanks for watching, peoples.
Guys, we'll see you later.
Where's Jess? Have
There
Jess say
she is.
goodnight.
Jess!
Bye. Good
Jess
night.
Gilmore.
Come on, Jess!
Yeah!
Oh my God, Taylor!
Huh?